Have you ever sat on the couch staring at your phone, knowing full well there's a list of things you should be doing, but you just can't? You're not tired enough to sleep, not busy enough to justify doing nothing, but somehow getting up feels like a mountain you just can't climb. And then the guilt hits. You start telling yourself, why am I like this? Am I just lazy? Let me stop you right there. You're not lazy. That feeling you're dealing with, that heavy, stuck in molasses kind of vibe, it's not a character flaw, it's a signal. And once you understand what it's trying to tell you, everything can change. Here's the truth. Most people who feel lazy aren't lacking willpower. They're just misusing their energy. And when you fix that, it's like flipping a switch. Things that once felt overwhelming suddenly become doable. Your brain feels clearer. You actually start enjoying the process again. Sounds too good to be true, right? But stick with me. In this video, we're going to break down why your energy might be working against you and what to do about it. I'll walk you through a simple 3-part fix that's designed to help you stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward with way less friction. No fancy hacks, no hustle culture nonsense. Just real insight, backed by experience and simple psychology. We'll start by uncovering why we feel drained even when we haven't done much. Then we'll explore the quiet energy leaks most people never notice, but totally sabotage their focus and motivation. Finally, I'll give you a way to reset your daily rhythm so you can work with your energy, not against it. But first, I want to say something that might sound weird coming from someone who's here to help you be smarter and more productive. If your brain has been telling you you're lazy, it's probably just trying to protect you. See, our minds aren't built for nonstop effort. They're built to conserve energy, avoid discomfort, and keep us safe. But in today's world with endless tabs open, literally and mentally, it's easy to slip into a kind of mental burnout where even basic tasks feel exhausting. Let me give you a quick example. A friend of mine, super smart, super capable, used to beat himself up constantly for not sticking to his goals. He'd plan his day down to the minute, but by noon he'd already be off track, scrolling his phone and calling himself lazy. The truth? He was using all his energy fighting himself, trying to force productivity instead of designing his day around how his brain actually worked. And that's what we're going to start doing here. So before we get into the fix, here's your first win. You don't need to become some hyper-disciplined machine to feel motivated again. What you do need is to get honest about how you're using your energy. That's the foundation. And honestly, that starts with paying attention to what drains you and what recharges you. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. Because energy isn't just about sleep and food and exercise, it's also about attention. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if your attention is constantly split between what you should be doing, what you're avoiding, and what everyone else is doing on Instagram, of course you're exhausted. You're not lazy. You're just scattered. And once you know how to gather that energy back, you'll be shocked at what you're capable of. That's what we're diving into next. The most common ways people leak energy throughout the day without even realizing it, and what you can do to take back control, one tiny step at a time. So let's talk about those sneaky little energy leaks, the ones that drain you before your day has even properly started. Because here's the thing, most people don't feel tired because they're doing too much. They feel tired because they're doing too much of the wrong stuff in the wrong way at the wrong time. And the wild part? A lot of that drain comes from things that don't even look like work. You ever spend 30 minutes just deciding what to wear, or what to eat, or whether to start on this task or that one? That's not nothing. That's decision fatigue. Every tiny choice burns a little bit of mental fuel. So by the time you sit down to actually focus on something important, your brain is already running on fumes. This is why people say things like, I don't know why I'm so tired. I haven't even done anything today. Oh, but you have. You've been running a mental marathon before 10 a.m. And let's not forget the endless scrolling. I know it doesn't feel like work to check your phone or scroll TikTok while you're avoiding that email, but your brain is still processing tons of information. You're overstimulated and under-rested at the same time. That's a recipe for burnout. And guess what burnout looks like when it's low-grade and sneaky? It looks like procrastination. It looks like laziness. But again, you're not lazy. You're just running out of charge without realizing it. So how do you start plugging those leaks? Start with awareness. This isn't about tracking every second or becoming super rigid. It's about catching yourself in the moment. The next time you feel blah or sluggish, ask yourself, what have I been giving my attention to? Not in a judgmental way, just curiosity. You'll start to notice patterns. Maybe you always crash after a long conversation with someone who drains you. Maybe answering DMs first thing in the morning throws off your focus for the rest of the day. These are clues. And here's where it gets exciting. Once you identify these patterns, you can start building what I call energy anchors. These are small, intentional choices you make at the beginning of the day or before big tasks that set you up to use your energy well. For example, one of mine is no social media until after my first deep work block. That one change, which took maybe 10 minutes of discipline in the morning, ended up giving me hours of clearer focus every day. Another is laying out my clothes and breakfast choices the night before. Boring? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. And if you're someone who hits a wall in the afternoon, here's a simple trick. Instead of pushing through and punishing yourself for feeling tired, try switching to a different kind of task that uses a different type of energy. If your brain is fried, don't keep staring at a blank screen. Go do something physical or repetitive or even creative. Movement recharges your mind in ways most people forget to use. Now, none of this works if you're stuck in guilt mode. You've got to give yourself permission to try a different way of working. You're not a robot. You're a human being. Your energy ebbs and flows. The goal is not to be on all the time. The goal is to know when you're on and use that energy wisely. And when you start doing that, when you start protecting your focus, reducing those tiny daily decisions and building energy anchors into your routine, it's not just that you get more done. You start to feel more in control. You stop beating yourself up for needing rest. You get off the guilt train and onto a track that actually goes somewhere. So now that we've talked about how your energy gets drained and how to plug those leaks, it's time to take things a step further. In the next part, we're going to talk about how to build a rhythm that fits you. Not some ideal version of yourself, but the real you. One that helps you sustain energy, not just for today, but long term. All right, so now that you've started to notice where your energy is going, and maybe even plugged a few of those quiet drains, let's talk about something that really pulls it all together. Rhythm. See, most people try to force themselves into someone else's schedule. We hear things like, wake up at 5 a.m., grind for 12 hours, or if you're not hustling, you're falling behind. But let me ask you something. Has that ever actually worked long-term for you? Because here's the truth no one talks about. Your brain and body already have a rhythm. You're just probably not listening to it. Everyone has a natural energy flow throughout the day. For some people, mornings are golden. They wake up ready to go, full of ideas, ready to take on the world. Others need time to warm up and don't really hit their creative peak until the afternoon, or even late at night. Neither is better. What matters is knowing your pattern. I used to think I had to do all my most important work first thing in the morning because, well, that's what all the successful people online said. But every day I'd sit down with my coffee and a to-do list, and nothing would happen. I felt blocked, frustrated, and guess what? I started calling myself lazy again, until I actually paid attention. I noticed that I was way more alert and productive around 10:30 a.m. after I had some time to move, eat, and settle into the day. So I shifted my work block to match that. And just like that, things started flowing. It wasn't magic, it was rhythm. This isn't about being rigid with your time. It's about being honest with your energy. What times of day do you feel sharpest? When do you start to fade? If you've never really tracked that, try it for just a few days. Write down how you feel at different times. Morning, afternoon, evening. Notice when focus comes easily and when your brain turns to mush. These little notes are pure gold. And once you know your rhythm, you can start to design your day around it. Put your most important tasks where your energy is highest. Save repetitive or lower effort stuff for when you're naturally slower. And if you can't control your whole schedule, which let's be real, most of us can't, then even small shifts can help. Maybe you rearrange 2 tasks. Maybe you swap a call to a better time. It all adds up. But here's the other half of this that often gets ignored: recovery. Because energy isn't just something you spend, It's something you have to renew. And no, I don't mean collapsing on the couch at the end of the day watching YouTube until your brain shuts down. I mean intentional recovery. That could be a 10-minute walk with no phone, a short meditation or stretch, listening to music that calms your nervous system, doing absolutely nothing for a few minutes and letting your brain reset. These aren't luxuries. They're part of the work. Because when you rest right, you think better, act faster, and feel stronger. So now we've got the whole picture. Your energy isn't broken, it's just been misdirected. By noticing where it leaks, shifting when you work based on how you feel, and actually giving yourself time to recover, you're no longer fighting yourself. You're working with yourself. And this is what I want you to really take away from all of this. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You do not need to become someone else to start making progress. You just need to learn how you function best and honor that. Try something small today. Move one task to your high energy time. Take one tiny recharge break, even if it's just a deep breath before your next thing. These aren't hacks. They're habits that build a better, stronger, calmer version of you over time. If this message hit home for you, let me know in the comments. What's one shift you're going to try this week? I read every one of them, and I'd love to hear your story. And hey, if you found this helpful, give the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss future content that helps you work smarter, not harder. We've got so much more to dive into together. But for now, be kind to yourself. You're doing better than you think, and you've got more energy in you than you realize. It's just waiting to be used the right way. Before we wrap this up, I want to say something directly to you, especially if you've been feeling stuck lately, maybe even disappointed in yourself. If your days have felt heavy, if your motivation has been hit or miss, or if you've quietly been telling yourself that you're just not disciplined enough or driven enough to get things done, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not lazy. You've just been taught to measure productivity in a way that completely ignores how you operate best. And honestly, that's exhausting. But now you've got the tools to shift that. You know how energy can leak through distraction, decision fatigue, overstimulation, and guilt. You know how to start noticing your rhythm, when you focus best, when you need rest, and how recovery isn't slacking off. It's strategy. And you know that tiny shifts, when done consistently, are more powerful than dramatic overhauls. You don't need a perfect routine. You just need one that supports you. And you don't have to go from zero to hero overnight. You don't have to fix everything at once. Just pick one place to start. Maybe it's cutting down on distractions. Maybe it's blocking off 1 hour of deep focus during your natural peak. Maybe it's giving yourself permission to rest without guilt. Even one change can open the door to momentum. And momentum, that's where confidence starts to rebuild. That's when you go from feeling stuck and overwhelmed to actually seeing progress. Real, sustainable progress that feels good. And look, life's still going to happen. You'll still have off days. We all do. But now you'll have something most people don't, an actual understanding of how to work with your energy instead of constantly pushing through burnout. That's the edge. That's what keeps you going when others give up. So let's lock it in. You're not lazy. You're learning. You're adjusting. You're paying attention to the way your mind and body actually function. And that's one of the smartest, most empowering things you can ever do. If this video helps shift your perspective even just a little bit, do me a favor. Drop a comment below and tell me what part resonated most. Or better yet, what change are you excited to try this week? It's not just about sharing for me. It's about starting a conversation with people like you who want to grow without burning out. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. It helps way more than you know. And subscribe for more videos that are all about helping you think better, live smarter, and feel more in control of your life, one step at a time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for caring enough to ask questions and try something different. Keep showing up. Keep listening to yourself. And remember, energy is a resource. You just have to learn how to use it wisely. You've got this.